Alright, welcome everybody to our next figure drop talk video. Godzilla 2023, the Odo Island Monster. It's finally been announced, or solicited. We're ready for it, that's for sure. Yeah, welcome to the stream. Figure drop talk videos, what we do in these videos is just, we talk about the upcoming release, specifically the Godzilla 2023, the Odo Island Monster figure. We're going to take a close look at the high-res promo pics and just kind of look through all the details on that, what to expect for it. We'll talk about release information and everything. Let's get started. I will go ahead and paste the link to this page in just a moment. For now, if you guys go to my website, you can follow along as we are doing this together. Go to my website, go to the upcoming releases section, and then you can go over here, scroll to this either on your mobile phone or your desktop, and we're going to click on the Godzilla 2023, the Odo Island Monster page. It is a premium Bandai web exclusive in Japan. It will be brought over to the United States as a general release. What that means is it'll be releasing in Japan September 2026, and US will get it October 2026. In Japan, its MSRP is 12,100 yen, and then for the US, it is $109.99 or $110, whichever you want to prefer to read right there. So let's go ahead and click on this, and I'm going to drop the link into the page right here for you guys. So go ahead and check that out. If you want, just drop the link in the chat. And before we get started, don't forget to say hello. Click the image right there. It sounded like a lawnmower, honestly, at the beginning of that. I wonder if that's where they sourced it. Anyways, yeah, all the pictures of these monsters, they all yell. If you click on them, mobile or phone or desktop, just go ahead and do that. But let's get into the details of this. It stands at 4.7 inches tall. It comes with the decorated pedestal set. We'll talk a little bit more about what those words are on the set, by the way. Let's read the description, though. From Godzilla -1 2023, the legendary monster of Odo Island is now joining the S.H.MonsterArts series. This pre-transformation form of Godzilla 2023, the monster that attacks and annihilates the Odo Island defenses at the beginning of the film. Sculpted, painted, and produced by Yuji Sakai, a leading Godzilla sculptor, it is based on the CGI data from the film. The figure faithfully recreates the dinosaur-like proportions of Godzilla 2023, including its distinctive forward-leaning posture, large head, and slender-toned body and legs. The texture of the scales of the skin, or on the skin, and the dorsals are also meticulously sculpted. The coloring is based on the appearance in the film while being adjusted to evoke a lifelike appearance. A wide range of articulation is provided throughout the body, naturally maintaining the figure's proportions. It can flexibly recreate poses seen in the film, such as shaking its head from side to side or roaring upwards. A special pedestal and support stand printed with the Godzilla -1 logo and the word Godzilla are included. So that's our description right there. And let's just take a look at those high-res promo. Let's take a look at that. So on the website, you can go ahead and scroll through these as well as we're scrolling by. This is just the general look. Let's just get a good look at these, each one. We're going to scroll through it. I love the posing right here. It's very neutral stance. I feel like in the movie, it does lean forward more. The tail is off the ground, but I have a feeling that this figure is going to be very back-heavy. The tail is definitely going to have some weight to it. So, but as far as this kind of Saurian kind of pose, well, I guess it's more of a Godzilla Saurian style pose. It will be able to do that. No problem. And at least it still looks good while it's in this pose as well. But yeah, side profile view looks great on this right here. You can see all the different articulation cuts. Now this is a smaller figure. Remember this, guys. It's 4.7 inches tall. It's about maybe half the size. If you guys are wondering, why is this figure out of scale? And You're not wrong. It's out of scale. It is. It's a non-scale figure right here. It's been blown up in size so that you can have it for play and everything. If this thing was to scale, it would be much smaller. I think in the movie it was like 15 meters tall, while Godzilla's like 50 or 55 meters tall. So you wouldn't get an articulated figure at that rate. It would just be a minifigure at that point. So obviously we want to be able to play with this figure, so that's why it's been blown up in size right there. And you can always do some trick photography out there if you're pretty good with the camera and everything and digital effects. You can always make it appear smaller than it really is too, if you ever wanted to combine them in those photos. Here's our front view. Front view looks good, looks great. I do love it. Very fierce looking. Bear in mind, guys, this is a resin prototype. It is not a factory mold. So this is just a 3D print, basically. So all the details are very, very sharp on it. Oh, look at that. We do have a pose right there without a stand supporting the tail. So it does look like it's possible to do that. I think it will be a balancing act. That's going to be the big thing here. When you're doing these kind of poses without a stand to support the tail, you're going to have to balance that figure. This is the same as the other profile picture, but this time the tail is upwards. I'm a little skeptical on this one right here because it is so low off the ground. But if it can do that, that'd be great. Okay, so this part might have been a little confusing for everybody, right? Because in the description, it says it's the stand that says the -1 logo, and then it says Godzilla. But these characters may look unfamiliar to you, and that is because it's not katakana. Godzilla's name that we're all familiar with seeing in Japanese titles and stuff uses katakana. But in this particular case, it is ataji, which is a form of the sound of what the word is. And this is basically, it's kanji. So to illustrate this better, it's pronounced Gojira, right? When they're in these, they say his name, and it sounds like Gojira. So the sound Gojira is this in ataji kanji. That's what that is. Whereas in katakana, it actually is Godzilla. It's not Gojira. Even though it's actually translated, you know, if you were to do words for words, it's like, you know, Gojira. But in Japan, that's what the katakana stands for, is Godzilla. That's what the whole point of that is. So this is Gojira right here. What it sounds like, but it's still Godzilla at the end of the day. So might sound a little confusing, but that, just remember, it's ataji kanji. That's what it is. Pronunciation sound of the word. All right, and then here's a picture of the stand. It looks like it's just your basic Tamashii axe stand. That's the arm, at least. It doesn't look like the other one that's used for the Destroya evolution set that's coming out. So this one's just your basic claw grip, basic stand with only 2 connections on there. So, which makes sense because the other one is a lot longer because it has several connections. So this is just an extra support. This is for your long-term display if you wanted to include that there. But I do like the base. The base does look pretty cool. And here's what they look like next to each other. Again, it's not to scale. It's done on purpose like that. They want it. Otherwise, you know, it'd be a minifigure, and I think it'd be like up to here, right? There's no articulation. You're not going to get any articulation out of that, you know? So it'd be a minifigure. We want to play with this, so I'm okay with this being out of scale. It's like if they did Baby Godzilla. Would you rather have Baby Godzilla be so small that it has no articulation, or would you rather it be blown up in size and now you can move it and pose it and stuff? It's, you know, they did this actually with the 2016 Godzilla's the first form, right? They blew that up so that you can be able to play around with it instead of using that as a smaller scale. So, and then we got the big action shot, right? Look at that. Ooh, very nice. I love it. We got some dynamic lighting effects on the figure and everything. We got a spotlight, you know, the fire, the explosion and everything. It's pretty cool. I've seen some comments online thinking that the head is too big, but here's the thing, guys. This uses this actual CGI file, and if it does look a little bit bigger, it might be because of articulation cuts and they had to compensate for that. But it does use the CGI file. There's not too many deviations when it comes to proportions. Sometimes they have to change things around to add articulation cuts, you know? So if they wanted the head to work, maybe they had to make it just a smidge bigger to make it work with its articulation style. But for the most part, it's supposed to be as one-to-one as possible. That's the idea of it. So, but that is it for the website right there. If you guys want to download these photos for yourself, you could just click on this download all images and it will take you to a mega website, and you guys can download that and have it on your computer for your own keeping. Use it as a wallpaper, whatever you want. So, but let's get into the zooming in part. This is what's really cool. Boy, you guys are really taking off in the chat too. Awesome. Where did I get the audio for the roar? It's from the Blu-ray disc. Yeah, I just ripped it from the movie. That's it. Okay. Here we go. Let's zoom in. Let's take a look. Starting with the head. Very, very well-defined teeth. Curious to see how this is going to look when it comes to its final version. Now, Yuji Sakai is involved because he has a kind of an idea of what to do with these figures to factor in when things are being pulled out of a factory mold. You know, the teeth could be much thinner and finer, and what he'll do is he'll resculpt the teeth, and it may not be one-to-one to the CGI model anymore. So he's resculpted them or something to make them a little bit bigger and make them easier to pull out of a mold. So I'm just giving an example. I'm not saying that that's what's happened in this. For -1 Godzilla, he did do that. He did resculpt the teeth so that they were easier to pull because they were so small and so fine. It would just be a line of plastic if you pulled it out of the mold. So, but for this Godzilla, I think its teeth are big enough that they may have just kept it the way it was. So, but look at the detail. The detail's looking great. It's actually, you know what's funny is if you actually own the Ichibansho figure, it's really not too far from that figure. It looks pretty much almost one-to-one to that. And that one just did use the CGI file for that too as well. Also prepared by Yuji Sakai. So if you have the Ichibansho, you kind of know what you're getting yourself into with this, except this one will be articulated. Looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points of articulation on this. And it looks like the head is going to have 2 points of articulation. So it looks like the mouth is going to be able to open up separately as well as the bottom jaw. So they'll both be able to open independently right there. We've also got the massicizer inside the mouth right there. So that looks like it will also move with it. Kind of similar to how they did -1 as well as the Evolved Godzilla 2024 figure. Let's see here. Let's look at the dorsals. Dorsals are looking pretty thick. So I don't think we have to worry about things with them breaking and all that stuff. Hey, how's it going, Marius? Yeah, somebody, Gareth right here writes, I didn't know that about the teeth. Explains why my Shin and -1 Godzilla. Yep. That's why the teeth are... Yeah, definitely Shin Godzilla. Teeth are completely redone for that because they can't use the teeth from the CG model. Yeah, look at this. Looks good. Our arms articulation, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points of articulation right there, so that's pretty good. It is a smaller figure, so you know, I don't think the range is going to be like Godzilla 2000 levels. This figure is made around the same time as Godzilla 2002, so I'm not sure that it's going to have the updated 2000 articulation style. I think that it's going to be unique to this figure at least. We do have a sheath, though. There's a thigh sheath right there, so that's good. Looks like you'll be able to get some really good poses over here at the hip area. Yeah, I don't know if it'll have any extendable stuff right there. Not like 2000 at least. And then when we get down to the feet, no articulated toes this time around. Also, that would be a nightmare, honestly. Rathalos did it, and with these hindquarters like this, so small, I think it would just fall over all the time if it had those toes and they would pop out. So I think this is the right call, is to just keep them flat like this. As long as there's articulation right here, it will compensate for that. So, and it looks like there is. So you got looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 points of articulation in the leg. So yeah, let's keep going down. Let's look at the tail here. And yeah, and you know, just keep in mind, this is like, I'm looking at a comment right here. It says, you know, all these things are so sick, you know. the scales are on this, and it's a pretty small figure, you know, it's only 4.7 inches. So it is some incredible detailing here for that height. That'll look good. Yeah. And you know, when Yuji Sakai comes in here, this is the kind of stuff that he'll do though. Like you see how it flares out on this right here? This may have been detail that's more like this one, where it's a little bit more bumpy and flat, but he's gone in and maybe flared it out a little bit extra just to give it some more depth. Not confirming that, but I'm just giving an example of like that could have been his extra hand in there doing his supervision right there. But yeah, let me go back and count this really quick. You know what? We'll do it on a different image because this one's kind of angled. We'll do it on the profile view. Tail looks good all the way to the tip though. Gets a little bit dry on the dry brushing right there, so I'm probably going to anticipate that being on the final release if they're going this direction with it. So let's go to the next photo here. The eye is going to be really small in this. You thought -1 eye is going to be small. This is going to be smaller for sure. Yeah, there's another example of the head with its different parts moving right here. Yeah. I wonder if this dorsal right here is going to be like a movable dorsal. It kind of sticks up a little bit. And I can see them implementing that so that when the head moves back, it'll compensate for the movement. So I'm wondering if that's going to be a movable dorsal right there. Yeah, I'm seeing some dinosaur comments here. Yeah, I agree. I think that this is definitely our good first look at a dinosaur-styled MonsterArts figure. So if Mattel ever loosens the license on Jurassic Park, you know, maybe we can get some Jurassic Park stuff in here. Digging it. So let's see here. Let's look at the torso. As far as articulation goes, we start pretty much right here because this is still part of the neck. So we got one piece right here. So that's our one. It looks like this is one piece, two, and then another. You know what, the torso part right here, I'm not sure if this is a movable part or if that's a floating piece. I'm going to say that it's maybe just 3 points of articulation as far as the torso goes. The one thing about this to keep in mind though, guys, is that this has got that dry brushing effect on there. The dry brushing is never going to be one-to-one between figures. This is where your variance comparisons are going to come through, and there's just going to be so many different ways that they paint this stuff. You know, everybody's Godzilla is going to kind of look the same, but also look different when they order this thing. Yeah, there's actually a nice, decent chunk of gap right there too at the same time for this sheath. So this leads me to believe that you can do some splits with this guy, getting really to move that hip around. The nice thing is that this figure isn't so big that I don't have any major concerns about it falling in over on itself with this kind of leg design. I think it'll be fine because it's not going to be super, super heavy. All right, let's see how many points are on the tail here. So we got, looks like it connects right here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I think that this, yeah, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. This looks like, I don't think it's articulated right here. I think there's a weird cut that makes it look like it is, but I don't think it is. But if in case it is, we'll say 17 to 18 points of articulation in the tail. Yeah, that's insane for a small little figure like this too. So they're really wanting you to get some extra movement out of that. Wow. I saw your comment, Rob C. Where can you get the banner images pages from the Bandai webpage? You have to go to Tamashii Nation's website to do that. It's a bit finicky to find that kind of stuff though, because especially for archive stuff, it can be a little difficult. But the trick is that it defaults to US when you look at it from the US computer, and you just want to click on the JP button, and that should show you the Japan logo for that, the thumbnail that you're talking about, the banner. So, okay, so that's the side profile. Let's move on to the next one. Ah, the front. Yes. Let's look at that. Oh, we can get a better view of the inside of the mouth, too. Look at that. Very interesting. So, maybe the top doesn't move? Because it looks like it's connected to that. Oh, you know what? Okay, yeah, it is. It does move. Okay, so the mouth, the top of the mouth and the lower of the mouth do. So this part right here is connected with like a little elastic bands right here. So right here, that's an elastic band. Here, I'll even zoom in even more. So this is an elastic band part, and this is an elastic band part kind of thing. So this will stretch open, not too much, but just enough. It's obviously been built to be quite open in the first place. So, but that's cool. This will be able to have that natural fleshy motion. What they do to compensate for this, guys, is they actually build it deeper into the jaw in the slot right here. So when the mouth is closed, it can go into the jaw in the upper into the head right here. So it may look like it stretches, but it really doesn't stretch that much. It's very, very minimal. So, but yeah, that looks good right there. Very, very well detailed. Very well detailed. Here's our view of the front of the chest right there. I like the hands. The hands are a good pose this time. I like that too. Is the tongue articulated? It's a bit hard to see from this, but I would imagine that it is articulated. We'll see if there's another image where we can take a closer look at that tongue. Sometimes they've actually sculpted them where they're elevated, and they're just still glued in, so you can't actually move them. So, but that looks good. Gets real skinny in the crotch area right there. That's so that we can get a lot more movement. So now we got the tail moving off to the left right here. It shows you how much farther. Oh, I don't know. I can't tell. I know this is an articulation cut on this part of the tail right here. Actually, you know what? Maybe the last point of articulation is actually here, and this is just one solid piece. So about 17 points of articulation. I don't think this last piece, I don't think it's got ball joints right here. I think this is one solid piece. Yeah. I'm okay with that, though. I mean, this is a small figure in the first place. This is more articulation than, you know, what Junior got or what the second form of 2016 got. So I'm satisfied with that. Would the MonsterArts team use the size of this figure as a reference for the eventual final Godzilla? I don't think so. I think that if they do that figure, I think it would be bigger, but I'm not sure. I don't think that anything based off of one figure is ever done and applied to a second figure. You know, I think that every figure is approached individually. They may borrow some parts that are done like in terms of engineering, but as far as size and scale goes, I mean, that's its own thing. So, but yeah, that looks good. We didn't really look at this leg, so I'm just kind of scrolling back up here. Excellent. This looks really cool. I'm really excited about this figure. All right. You know what? Here's our confirmation. That tongue is articulated. Look at that. We got it going up right there. So for you asking about if the tongue was articulated, that is a definite yes. You can move it up, it looks like. Excellent. I'm a bit concerned about how the eye placement's going to go because I know they're not going to hand paint it. They're going to do that dot matrix thing because they're so small. Hopefully it won't be that bad though. Teeth. Blending, that's going to be hit or miss too. You know, it blends very nicely on this because it's hand painted by Yuji Sakai, but factory workers, it never turns out this well when it comes to blending teeth. Yeah, they got it really extended up. Look at that. So this part right here is like a floating sheath. So this could actually tuck in underneath that right there. So that's interesting. This is why we do these little zoom-ins on these high-res photos. There's stuff that you don't see in the when you're looking at it on your phone with the big master shot. So this piece right here, even though the photographer didn't do it, since it's a floating piece, you can easily adjust this to cover up this gap. You just have to bring it up higher, that's all. Dorsals are fantastic looking though. I love the layered lines and everything. They look so cool. Yeah, look at that. It's an interesting, I don't know if this is because it's a prototype, because it's made out of resin, but it looks like this may have been chipped off right here. There's a little part that's missing. I don't think that's intentional. I think that might have been a broken piece. Dry brushing on the feet. Yeah, this is going to be one of those things that are also going to be all over the place in the factory produced version. Let's look at that tail. Just trying to get good clues on that last part of the tail right there. Yeah. The more I'm seeing of this, the more this is looking like a solid piece. So articulate, articulated, 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 and then one solid piece after that. So, okay, let's see the next one. This one's kind of similar to the other side profile one, but this time the tail is lifted off the ground. Yo, you know what would be really cool is if they did glass eyes for this instead of painted eyes. That would be really cool. Yeah, that would be really cool. Yeah, there's that floating piece right there. So this floating piece looks like it can tuck in, but it can also go up and over as well. And then this piece looks like it can be adjusted so that it doesn't have that big gap. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's really, I'm impressed with how they cut it up, you know? It could have been more gappy, but this is pretty tightly knit right here. Yeah. Legs look good there too. We don't see a lot of different poses with the feet bending too much in these photos. And it's probably because it is a resin prototype, which doesn't really have a great tolerance in the first place. So I am curious to see what the range is going to end up looking like on the master, on the factory version at least. There's our tail again. Yeah. It's looking good. You'll have some decent range on it. It doesn't look like it will be able to go up too high because of the dorsal sculpts. But curving downwards, this should have some decent curve going downwards, side to side, going upwards, not so much. We've seen this before in other figures, once when they have a lot of spikes on top and everything. There's only so much movement because parts of the top of the sculpt starts hitting the other parts of the sculpt, and it just doesn't move that far, unfortunately. So, not a bad shot. Let's keep going. Ah, the base. So yeah. So this is Godzilla. It says Godzilla -1 right there, and then it also says Godzilla. This is in Ataji Kanji. It's got some, what do we call this? It's like an emboss is what they do for this right here. So it's got that grainy kind of texture feeling. So this is going to have like a little 3D effect on it. It's very similar to the other ones that we've seen where they have printed bases. They're not just flatly printed, so it's like an extra layer that gets printed on top to give it that 3D texture feel. So I think that's pretty cool. And it looks like you'll be able to pop out any of these parts right here on the stand, or on the pedestal, I should say, and you can stick the stand in them to, you know, whichever way you want to display it. So it's completely up to you how you want to display it. If you want to show the logo, or if you want to have it supported more on the sides, that's entirely up to you if you want to do that. Not much to look at. It's just a pedestal. We know what that looks like. Oop, I got a little excited right there. All right, let's go back. Let's look at the top of the head. This is a nice view. Gives us something a little different to chew on right here. So it's looking good right there. A little bit of a better view of that tongue. Looks like it's pretty flat. Not too many wash or anything like that in there. Looks like it's a flat red, fleshy red color. This does give us a better view of this dorsal. It's still hard to tell if it's really going to be able to move or not, though, because you do have these cuts right here. It is a floating piece, so I do wonder, because you can already see it. It's already touching this piece right here. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. There's the top of the dorsals. These are a lot thicker than the ones that are on -1, so I don't think we have to worry about these guys breaking during transport. I think they've also learned their lesson on that, so that's why they changed the packaging of the inner clamshell to accommodate for that in the later versions of -1. Alright, so we got a little bit of an ankle pivot this time around, so it's not just straight. We got a little pivot going on. Yeah, look at that one too. Oh, you know what? That's the dew claw. I was gonna say, that one's really turned around. Yeah, that's the dew claw right there. Do I think he'll be the same size as Junior or bigger? I'll have to look at the specs. But I think Junior is going to be smaller. Yeah. I think Junior is a lot smaller than this. The thing is when they measure these guys, they measure them at their neutral height. And you can always pose them so that they're taller. Yeah, just your basic stand. It'll have that claw attachment right there. Yep. Yep, definitely convinced. That's just one solid piece at the end. Okay. Not bad. And see all these dorsals? They're all individually glued on. Because you can't pull this tail out of the mold with these. Each of these dorsals are glued onto the figure. Every single one. Significantly less than -1. That's why the price is the way it is for these guys. You know, -1 was $140. Because they had to glue in every single one of these dorsals all the way to the very tip. Yeah, and that cost in assembly takes a long time, and it costs a lot because the Japanese yen is not great. It is very, very weak right now. Okay, so here's our comparison between both of them. We'll take a second before we zoom in on anything right here. On our left is a factory sample version of -1. Yeah, it's not the resin prototype. And then on our right, we've got a good old Shorty. We're gonna call him Shorty from now. Shorty. We don't really care about -1, so let's zoom in on this guy though. We'll start right here. Eye looks good. The pupil looks good right there. I'm skeptical it'll look like that in the final version, but we'll see. Fingers crossed. It's going to be very, very small. Yeah, for Great Clash, if we're talking about my comment about it being not a resin prototype, the Great Clash is a resin prototype, by the way. It's a brand new mold for that one. Even though the parts that are definitely 1-to-1, you know, with -1s mold, it is going to be a brand new mold, though. It's looking good. Looks like you'll be able to move those wrists. It's probably just one ball joint, though. I don't think they're going to do the swivel hinge on this. I think it's usually with these smaller ones, it's just a single ball joint. Yeah, looks good. Yeah, they're tiny eyes for sure. Dragonzilla, hey, welcome, man. Yeah, Odo Island Godzilla is definitely bigger than Junior. Yeah, he is. Junior, I think Junior probably comes up to, you know, in its neutral pose, probably about this far. But they also have this, he's kind of standing more upright in this pose. His neutral pose would be more lengthwise. Junior can also stand just like this as well, and he's a bit taller when he's standing that way too. All right, last photo right here. Let's zoom in on this guy. This is the big action shot. These are just fun shots. They do a whole bunch of different effects on these, and they're just fun ways to just show and get you excited to be like, yeah, I can build a diorama or something like that. Definitely our closest view of the figure, though. Like, we're zoomed in at 100% right here, and you're getting a real good look at the details on this now. We missed some details, so I'll go right back up this way. Lots of detail. It's incredible. So we'll have to look forward to how it's going to turn out in its final factory version. I don't know about you guys, but when I just see this claw the way this is, ignoring the background, I just feel like this is very 98, right? Very Godzilla 98. There it is. That's it, guys. So that's our zoom in of everything. So yeah, how are we feeling after we saw these close-ups? You know, are you guys feeling better about the figure? Are you feeling, I'll wait for a sale kind of thing? I mean, how are we feeling, chat? How are we feeling? Let's look at the chat. Yeah, I'm gonna start right here. Godzilla 98 inspiration? I don't think so. Yeah, I love the lighting. Photo G did a great job. Yeah, he did a really great job at using his little lights to recreate a little ambiance right there. So that he got the spotlight effect, he had some flame effects, explosion lighting. That was very well done. I'm still pre-ordering him, but yeah, he's a bit pricey. Let's see here. It looks so nice, but damn, that price markup sure is something. With Junior, I was able to wave it off because it came with 3 other figures, but this doesn't. Yeah, you know, it's... things that are coming to the US are always just going to be way more expensive to import, you know? And it's... the only way to get MonsterArts for a really good deal is if you just fly to Japan and buy them in person, because the US dollar is, it's so good against the currency right now. Like, I think this is like, what is it, like $90 or something? Hold on a second. If you were to actually go to Japan, let's see here, USD. Let's do this. So yeah, if you were to go to Japan right now and you wanted to buy this figure, it's basically $77 in US currency, right? But they're not going to sell that to you when it comes to import, because they're going to lose money on that, right? So that's why import cost for US distribution is factored into the cost. Not only that, the tariffs and the duties are also factored into that. So now, since we're talking about price, I will give you guys my opinion on this as well. So, you know, we have Godzilla 1975, $110. Supreme Court came in earlier a couple weeks ago, and they changed that ruling, right? And they said, hey, no more 25% tariffs, basically, is what Bandai Distribution was paying for this, right? Now it's been reduced down to 15%. We finally got to see some reprieve to the prices. It should have been $135 based off of the previous way that they were listing prices, but it's dropped down to $110, right? But then we get this figure, which is actually, you know, I think it's like 10,000 yen, or sorry, 1,000 yen cheaper, right? Or no, hold on, let me look it up really quick. I want to get my facts straight here, right? So Godzilla 1975, yeah, so that one is, you know, 13,000 yen, 200 with tax and everything, and it's a lot, it's a little bit more, right? And in all honesty, the price for this should have been $100, because if you go to Scar King was listed at the same price for 12,100 yen, and it is $100. I have a feeling that maybe there is a little bit of markup on Toho's side where they make it a certain price because it is the -1 figure. Very well could be something like that, I suspect. So, but yeah, I think it could have been easily $100. So, but it kind of met in the middle between $100 to $120. They just kept it at $110. In my opinion, should have been $100 though. Looks absolutely fantastic, but I'm still debating on whether to get it or not. Up to you. Depends on how much you love -1, right? At the end of the day. I am pre-ordering as I type this. Oh, wow. I'm more excited for this than 75, but mainly because I like weird figures. Hey, you know what? That's okay. You can like those weird figures, but 75, that's a boss. I own 72, so I skipped 75 to order this instead. Hey, sometimes you gotta balance your budgets, right? Okay. Also want to praise your website. Been using it for years. Hey, thanks! That's the whole point of it. It's just, it's my gift to the community, but it gives me something to do. It's my hobby. That's my hobby, right? I'm able to do it for my own content, but I also have it as kind of like a catalog, if you will, of just everything about Monster Arts. So, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you enjoy using it and getting something out of it too. How much are E-Knight's tariffs though? So just to clarify, guys, really quick, let me bring this up one more time for everybody. When you go here, E-Knight Media, even though it says this listed price excludes tariff charge, this is on every single listing on their website. This is a mom and pop shop kind of thing. They have not gone in through and updated everything from Bandai. Just so that you know, everything that's Monster Arts that goes through E-Knight Media, there is no tariff surcharge. Everything is included in the price. You will not get charged any additional money for ordering on E-Knight Media. So do not worry about this, okay? This whole bit right here, the tariff charge, don't let that make it so that you don't buy the figure for a better price, because you will not be charged an additional fee. All of Bluefin, or oh, I still call it Bluefin, it's funny. Anything that comes from the Bandai warehouse, the distributor pays for those tariffs up front, so you will never have to pay for those fees. And that is why those fees are baked into the actual price itself. But you won't be charged anything through E-Knight Media. You will not get charged a tariff charge for that. Okay? Okay. Do we think that gap on the spines there will be like 64, or do you think we will be able to move the chest up and hide it? I'm not sure about moving the chest upwards, but I believe that these pieces, you will be able to adjust them and move them. You know, like, so for example, you know, if you want to move its head, it's going to go over that piece right there, right? But I think that you'll be able to adjust this so that it can also hide on the inside of it. I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that because it is a floating piece, it does have the ability to be adjusted into whichever way you want it to adjust it. This is a floating piece though, so you should be able to move that. Wow, this looks great, says Logan. Is beautiful. It's true. Honestly, hypest release of the year so far. His sculpt looks spot on, and I always wanted more Saurian Godzilla to be given articulated treatment. Yeah, absolutely. I would love a Godzillasaurus from 91. From Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining the stream. This has been a lot of fun. We got to take a good close look at this figure. It was a blast looking through it, seeing all the different kind of articulation. We learned that the tongue is articulated on this, that there's floating pieces on the neck. So, and it looks like we've got a lot of points of articulation throughout the tail. It's going to be a pretty cool release. Again, it's $110 for the US. If you find it on eNight Media or Kappa Hobby, you can save some money though. If you have a Tokyo Taco Mode membership, you probably will be able to use some points to get that price down. But other than that, that is pretty much it. So thank you guys again for joining the stream. And we'll be catching you guys later. Look forward to Shin Godzilla Movie Graphic Plus in the near future. We're going to be doing a variance comparison of that. Don't know when, but soon. Catch you later.